Hello friends, welcome to Del Soccer. My name is Delali Frank and this is News Daily, where I serve you with all the major trending news in the last few hours. If it's your first time here, please hit on the subscription button and let's build this community together. But without wasting much time, let's get straight into today's video. Today we're going to talk about the big news. The head coach of the Black Stars, which is Chris Hughton, as I indicated, or as I gave a hint in our last video, that he is likely to announce his squad this week. The squad has come out and he has released a list of 25 players that will be used for the Ghana's double header against Angola. So the list is an interesting list. It's a 25 squad with players that we were literally expecting them to be there, but some few additions and some few omissions. So the goalkeepers are Atizigi, Abdul Manaf Nuruddin, and Joseph Wallacott. So players that have joined in the goalkeeping session is Joseph Wallacott. Remember that initially went to the World Cup with Danlad Ibrahim from Kumasi Asante Kotoko, but now the goalkeepers are Lawrence Atizigi of St. Gallen, Abdul Manaf Nuruddin of Hughton, and Joseph Wallacott of Charlton Athletic. The defenders are Tariq Lamptey of Brighton and Hove Albion. I think Lamptey was injured, or maybe he's fit. I don't know, but he picked up an injury and we don't know the update of it. Dennis Odo of Club Bridge, the professor himself, Gideon Mensah, Patrick Pozo. I think Patrick Pozo was not part of the team that went to the World Cup, but he has included him. There's Daniel Amate of Leicester City, Joseph Edu of Celta Vigo, Mohamed Salisu, and Alexander Djiku. These are the defenders. So a player that is not in it is, I believe, Babaraman now. Babaraman is not in this squad, but he was part of the last one. And then there's the midfielders are Thomas Partey, Majid Ashmeru, who everybody has literally been called to be given a chance to be in the national team. I think this is a time for him to be there. There's Abdul Saleh Samed, who went to the World Cup with us, who plays for Lens, and there's Edmond Edu. I don't know if you guys remember Edmond Edu. He was part of the team during the qualifiers, but he's picked up an injury and went out of the team and was not part of the World Cup. So the midfielders are Thomas Partey of Arsenal, Majid Ashmeru, there's Abdul Saleh Samed, and then there's Edmond Edu. The wingers are Jordan Ayew, Usman Bukhari, Joseph Pinso of Genk, Kamaldeen Suleiman of Southampton, there's Ransford Yeboah Konisdorfer. I think Ransford Yeboah is part of the players that switched nationality, but he did not make it to the World Cup. And then the forwards are Mohamed Kudus, Andre Ayew, Kamal Sowa, Inaki Williams, and then Antoine Semenyo. I think if you look at the team, it's pretty much the same players. Like the core of the team is the players that went to the World Cup with some few additions. And also, if you look at the goalkeepers, obviously these were the players that he was going to call. I think Wallacott, once Wallacott became fit, he was obviously going to replace Danlad Ibrahim. For the defenders, it's obviously the same. Tariq Lamptey, Dennis Odo, Gideon Mensah. I think Patrick Pozo comes in as a replacement to Babaraman, who is not part of this squad. So Babaraman is not here, but basically the same players that went to the World Cup. In the midfield, we have Thomas Partey, Ashmeru, Samed, and then Edmond Edu. I think Thomas, we all know his ability. Majid Ashmeru also a bit more offensive. Samed, I think the midfield is in a way that we have two offensive midfielders and maybe two defensive midfielders, because Edmond Edu is that box-to-box defensive midfielder, and Salis too as well. That's DM who has that ability to keep the ball and progress with it. And then we have Thomas and Majid Ashmeru, who are more offensive minded. And then the wingers, we have Jordan Ayew, obviously we know. Now Jordan, I think we have all agreed that Jordan is not a striker now. We have agreed that he's a winger, plays out from the right side or from the left side. So Jordan is not your striker anymore. And then the wingers, we have Jordan Ayew, Usman Bukhari, who was in top form, and then Joseph Pinso. I think if Joseph Pinso did not make the squad, I don't think like Chris Hughton would have had time to sleep, because I think the guy is on red hot form. He has been very brilliant for his club from the time he was out of the World Cup till the time we returned from the World Cup and played club football, he's actually one of the best African players currently playing in Europe. He deserves to be there. And then there's Kamaldeen Suleiman. I think he moved in the January transfer window too. Southampton has had few games, but he's still coming good. You watch him play and you know that this is a player that's obviously would excel. And then there's Ransford Yeboah as well. He's also doing great, very great, scoring week in, week out. I think these are wingers that have goals in them, which is very good. One thing that Ghana has always enjoyed is the ability of our wingers to also score goals, which is an excellent thing to have as a team. And then there's our forward, Mohamed Kudus. The fact that Kudus has now moved from the midfield to the forwards means that the guy has progressed brilliantly. Because if you look at the Black Stars and even Kudus as a player, he was always considered as that midfielder, that offensive midfielder. But now the kind of goals he's scoring, obviously, he needs to be there. He obviously needs to be a forward now. And then there's Andre Ayew, who moved from Qatar to the English Premier League, now plays for Nottingham Forest. Andre Ayew. There's Kamal Sowell, who plays for Club Brugge. Inaki Williams of Athletic Bilbao. And there's Antoine Semenyo, who has also moved from the Championship to the English Premier League. He's here to score in the English Premier League, but obviously he was scoring week in, week out when he was in the Championship. But this is a team that, how do you think Chris Hughton will play? Because Chris Hughton is that kind of player, that kind of manager who likes to use offensive players, a big pragmatic as well. He's not that your all attacking manager. How do you think he's going to play? I think for our defense, anytime you look at, obviously there's always going to be a space for Mohamed Salisu, but maybe with this team, I think we will play a 4-back. Obviously a 4-back. This like a 4-back written all over the team. I believe. And then the midfield, like this kind of going to be that 4-2-3-1 kind of attack, where we have two midfielders of Partey and maybe Ashimeru, and then have a front three of maybe Jordan Ayew, Joseph Pencil, and then Kamaldeen, and then Kudus, or that four, with Kudus in the middle, and then play Semenyo, play Inaki Williams as like top striker. Like, what do you think? How will Chris Hughton set up his team? Looking at this, but first of all, so the next video that we're going to do, we're going to look at the players that are absent. Obviously, the name that comes in mind quickly is Ishaku and the likes. We're going to look at the players that are absent. But let me know what you think in this team. Jojo Lacote makes a return. Edmond Edu also makes a return. Kudus now considered as a forward. Andre Ayew now considered as a winger. No Barbara Rahman now. And I'm sure you guys are all happy. There's no Barbara Rahman. Joseph Pencil into the squad. Let me know. And also let me know who you think who easily starts in this particular team. Let me know in the comment section. My name is Elali Frank. Until we meet again, bye bye for now.